and this is part 2 of installing laminate or vinyl plank into multiple areas, multiple rooms. This video is part 2 of a 2-part series. If you haven't seen part 1 yet, go watch part 1 first and then come back to this video. You definitely don't want to miss what we've talked about so far, and you definitely don't want to miss about what we're about to talk about right now. I'm going to show you different installations, including the one that we were just working on. I'm going to show you a few others where we have different layouts, and I can show you how to use this method, this technique that I use to go into multiple areas, and also to help you with lots of jogs, ins and outs, going around walls, going around cabinets, islands, so you don't want to miss it. So let's watch. Okay, so I just went outside and cut this. Now I'm going to put it in place. And now again, I'm going to go through and measure this. See off the main part of my floor where it's definitely secured, where we already installed all of that living room. I'm going off of that measurement. Okay, so now I just want to keep going all the way down and make sure that I'm at where I'm at, and if I need to adjust, I'll adjust, and then I'll measure, go over it all one more time again. So what I'm going to do is I have a door here. Now if you had carpet here, you could just pull your carpet back and you could do it this way. But I'm just going to put in temporary pieces to secure this floor. I always put them where the seams are for sure, and then I put one at the end. And so once I get these kind of going in where I want them, then I'm going to measure one more time before I drill. But I pre-cut all these little ones so that they fit in here where this piece goes. And now you could put this piece in right here that you cut and then screw it down like right along the baseboard. I've showed that in other videos. This is just a different way that I do it.
Here's an example of what I mean, and this is a hallway where I installed that last row, and you can see how I screwed this in. And then I can just pull those screws at the very end and fill those holes in with some wood filler.
And I actually really like doing it this way the best. Then I don't have to try to fill in screw holes later. So now I'll go through, I'll screw these down just like I've showed you earlier in this video with the drill. And now I will come back later on and I'll show you a little bit, or later on at the end of the installation. We'll take this out, these temporary pieces, and then we'll fill this in. Okay, so now we went down the hallway. Now we need to go down the other way into the kitchen. I'm going to show you a few other ways that I do this so that you can see how it works. In the kitchen here, I'm going to have some boards that I'm going to leave in there, and we're going to put screws in there to secure the floor. And then in some of the openings going down to the rest of the kitchen, I'm going to show you how we still secure the floor using the temporary boards. Okay, this is on another job that's the same exact layout as the one that we were just showing with the vinyl plank. Now I did this side a little bit different on this one. You can see I secured the floor with the boards temporarily, but I put all that row against the wall in. And there was a lot of jogs where I was able to still temporarily secure the floor with the boards. But what you can see that I also did here is I used screws. Now I used screws and the temporary boards to secure the floor so that it was a little easier for me to get this in, instead of having to work with it later. I do it both ways, and I wanted to show you both ways so you can decide for yourself which way is the best way to go for you. Now I still screwed the floor down in all of the seams, and I put screws at the ends. This is the living room where we built everything off of. Now I did leave a board out in here still where I have it temporarily secured so that the floor in here does not move, because I'm still working in the kitchen and I'm banging on that floor. I don't want any of this floor to move out here in the living room. Now I want to bring you to another installation where this one's a little bit more difficult. You can see I have jogs everywhere. This is a little cubby hole, and you can see I started the floor. I got the middle end going towards the wall here, but what I did is I started in the hallway over here. I temporarily secured the boards over here. I put like 5-6 rows of planks in, maybe 7.
and I worked backwards for my first few rows. You can see that I have closets and cubby holes that goes into another room here. This is this is the dining room. So we're going to fill this area in. And I'm also going over multiple surfaces of floor. It's all the same level. I had to fill in some spots, but you can see here that's the vinyl plank. That's a vinyl floor that we're going over the top of. And then we're coming out into the living room. And so you can see I also have to fill in that area. And so I still will leave the last row out to your right there on all of those different areas. But I want to build out to that last row. Okay, I just want to stop there real quick. Now I'm showing you all the different ways that I do this because when you build a good foundation, you're able to go into different areas a lot easier. And if we went through down this main layout that I'm showing you right now, and I started in all of those little different cubbies and closets and then tried to work my way out into the hallway and then connect that main board that runs down the entire length of the house to all those little cubbies, it would be almost impossible. I'm not saying you couldn't do it because some of you probably could, but you don't want to do it that way. So what I did is I started down the main part of the hallway. I built 6-7 rows down the hallway after I did all my layout. I still did the layout just like I showed you in the first video where to start. And then I worked backwards into those cubbies. Once I got those cubbies and closets done, then I was able to secure that last row with temporary boards like I've shown you in other videos past, and then turn and work the correct way around the really tough stuff like the peninsula, which don't let me get you scared because that stuff's not tough. It's just it can be tough if you don't follow the ways that I'm showing you to do. So sometimes it does make sense to start backwards in the very beginning to be able to build a good foundation to get the rest of the job done. I have some more, so here, let's watch. And this was just done this way so it could all stay straight and I didn't have to worry about the floor lining up. You can see I have a lot of furniture I need to deal with. They're living here, so I'll be moving all of this onto the floor that I just did. This is a really long area that I just did. It was probably about 50-60 feet long. And now we're going to be going into a kitchen. That's my cutter. I set my cutter up out there. Into the right there's a bathroom. So I have a fridge, stove, all of this kind of stuff to deal with. Going around this peninsula right here where there's a bank of cabinets, a closet. To the right there is a staircase going down. Back into the living room. So you can see this is a tough layout. But using the system that I'm using, we can make this very simple. Now I showed you how to work backwards, so you can do that. Just like I did in here. You can see we're going down through there. And bring your floor all to the walls there, and then leave that last row out and secure it. And then you can work and go back the other way, the correct way, and make this simple to get through multiple areas like this where you don't have to use transitions. Here's another job that I did. And this is kind of the same thing that we were just talking about, but a little different. Now I have the floor secured on that board right there, but that was my first board coming down through the hall, which you'll see in a little bit here. And now I'm going to secure this side. And once I secure this side, then I have to work backwards the rest of the way into this bedroom. But this is the only area that I had to work backwards in. Other than a little bit out, well, I guess it's a good section out in the living room too, but you do need to work backwards in some areas. Now, we'll work the floor all the way to those areas right up to the edge of this furniture, and then we'll move that furniture over, and then we'll finish the floor up. And so this is ways that you can also use this system to be able to deal with furniture and going into multiple rooms. But you can see now we're out into that hallway, and this floor flows all the way down through this kitchen also, and there's lots of furniture in this to deal with. And so we built around this peninsula after I started that main part of the floor to get my solid foundation before I started going around stuff. That's the key, is build a good solid foundation and find the easiest way. And now we can secure the floor in there with temporary boards. And under the cabinets I usually try to leave out some laminate otherwise, or vinyl plank, or you can use a pry bar or some kind of spacer to hold some of that. But you can see I went into multiple areas in here, closets, small closets, all over the place here. Now this is where I started. This is my starting row. So I did 2 rows that ran all the way down through that hallway, and I was able to stay in front of that fireplace that you just seen. We'll go back to that in a minute. I'm just showing you around this peninsula some more. So you can see, just like I said, it can be overwhelming, but it's not when you use this system. And so then what I did is I secured the floor right in front of this fireplace, and now I'll come back and cut my row into that. And that was nice for me to do so that I don't have to worry about trying to secure the floor and it not moving in front of a fireplace. And we were able to deal with moving furniture doing it this way. Okay, so that's it for this video. Make sure you watch my next video on installing laminate and vinyl plank floors. I hope this video helped you. Please leave a comment below. Hit the like button for me if this is on YouTube. I really appreciate that. It helps me with them quite a bit. Also, if you have any questions, just check the link down below. You can ask the questions here on YouTube in the comments section. It's just a lot quicker if you go to my Facebook page, which I have a link below, to be able to ask your questions where I can answer them a lot quicker. Also, there's a link below for my website. Go check out my website. I also have a ton of tile videos that you can check out if you're doing any tile in the future. And again, thanks. I'm Joe Latender.